Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome back to the SPL Week 8. And this is the final day of that, I believe.
Wait, why? Why?
Why what?
I don't know. Oh, I see.
Okay.
I just kept hearing, check out the lower third. Not as much.
I heard that too. So we're going to be starting off today with Europe, as per usual. Let's have a look at what the brackets are. Sorry, look the games for today. For the rest of it, because we've got 4 games that are going to be going on. Cloud9 as well as COG is going to be on in North America, as well as second game of today, FNATIC versus Myrmidons up first, and then it's Epsilon versus Justice.
We have the top of the pack in Europe going against the bottom of the pack in Europe. There's going to try to be some waves here, but honestly, it looks like the top of the pack is going to take it. I'm very, I guess, sided towards Epsilon here. I don't expect them to drop any games. FNATIC, it's possible that they might drop one, but I think it's generally going to be a 2-0 in both regards.
It should be, and the one thing is Justice today, they've got 2 games here, but then after that, they've got 6 games remaining, and they're only 5 behind Dignitas. So they are 5 behind Dignitas, which are that 6th position. So for them to realistically make it here, they need to find a game here and potentially win every other game, and Dignitas to drop a lot of games in the next couple of weeks.
Don't forget, guys, the tickets are on sale right now for the Smite World Championships. January 7th to 10th, a 4-day event, including the finals for the Smite Pro League, which will result a $1 million prize pool, plus $150,000 on the line for the Xbox Smite as well.
And on top of that, they're going to have the cosplay competition that's going to be going alongside that over the whole weekend. Multiple ways to enter that one as well. So very entertaining last year as well, especially with that cute little Scylla that turned up.
And for those of you who hate savings and didn't buy the God Pack, you can still hate savings again as the Praise the Sun sale is going on. Actually, a really good sale right now, considering all 4 of these gods are currently super viable.
And the best news is, DM, it's double fantasy points weekend. And you know what? With it being free FP during the SPL, it makes it even easier, doesn't it?
For those of you that might have missed out on our Alpha Draft this week, remember to sign up, play for free, and win real money over at alphadraft.com.
Yeah, some of the Alpha Draft players you can see probably coming up on your screen momentarily. And you can see the majority of this is the top teams in NA and EU, FNATIC, and across the way, Envy, who dominate the leaderboards for the most part.
Yeah, Envy has been very, very strong. But we're going to be starting up our day over in Europe. Let's take a look at Les Myrmidons.
So Myrmidons this season, they've not had the greatest of times, 5-17 so far. They're 3 games behind Dignitas, so if they can find a win or 2 here, they're still in the running to push themselves forward. However, they're only 2 games above Justice as well, of being off the very bottom of the pack. Last couple of weeks, DM, they've really struggled with getting a full roster online as well.
I think the biggest problem right now for Myrmidons is either communication or morale. I mean, we saw Jermaine, like, killing himself pointlessly and diving the fountain and being ridiculous. If he can't shake that mentality, there is 0 chance that they're going to be able to play up today.
At the same time, for me, that game was already over by that point.
Johns.
He dived in once.
Run it out.
He dived in once where he was chasing down, which I was agree with, and the ult in the fountain was different.
Run it out.
However, he wasn't playing last time round when the last opposition they faced, he wasn't on the squad, and they did run Tynz in that dual lane alongside Dardez.
That's true.
And they ran Vermana and Fenrir, which didn't work out very well against Epsilon.
Today, they have some pretty serious opponents in demand.
Well, FNATIC, they're the opposition today. They're going back to winning ways for the most part, 13-7. The last 3 games they've played, they tied 1-1 with London Conspiracy, 2-0 over Dignitas, and 1-1 with Epsilon. The only team to take a game off Epsilon so far this season is this roster.
CaptainTwig has played much better in the second half of this split than he did in the first. He almost seems like a brand new player. It kind of, to me, looked like that Blink meta really wasn't helping him all that much. He was committing very hard to fights and instead was getting caught a lot. Ever since the Blink had been nerfed, it seems that he has been playing a much more safe jungle route, which I love. I think his style of play is much more suited for warriors. I really love his Hercules in the jungle, and I wish we would see more of it.
Well, the 2 that we've seen most of him out of him is really Serqet. He's been very proficient on, but he gets banned a lot these days, and then Hercules. But Hercules, well, he's kind of shifted away so much from the meta nowadays. He's not picked as much, but then
for no reason. That character's great.
On top of that, maniaKK loves him too. So normally when they pick him up, they generally put him to maniaKK.
It's so confusing that Hercules isn't in the meta, considering healers are so incredibly powerful, as you note. Capri, who's I guess a pseudo healer, and then of course Hell, who has the highest burst heal in the game right now.
No surprise. Probably see Serqet, Sun Wukong as the last 2 bans potentially. Janus will be left on the table then. I think those 4 that I just mentioned there are the 4 that we expect to either get banned or first pick potential every time.
So with Sun Wukong getting banned from Myrmidons, I'm going to expect that they're going to look for, in the first 3 picks, a Hades.
Okay, just for the solo lane? Just
Right, I mean, this LeMoGoW,
again.
right? It's his namesake. Although it hasn't been
It's
going
not
as
been going as
well
well.
as you would have expected this split.
I agree. I don't think it's worked out as well. Most people have just realized he just stalemates the lane for the most part.
Yeah.
LeMoGoW's not been able to make the rotations he'd like to. And FNATIC really respecting the healers with these bans.
And they should. I mean, Aphrodite right now is currently, still my top pick for current meta. She's incredibly strong, but it's not even just about the healing. It's about the fact that she can link up to someone, increase their damage, movement speed, give them slows, heal them. It makes it very effective, just as effective in a lot of eyes as Janus.
Janus going to get locked in, but Serqet also left on the table, which could go over to FNATIC, and we mentioned in Twig, very proficient on that god. You've experienced that yourself once before.
Yes, I have. Neith going to be locked in. This is likely going to be a mid lane Neith for Zyrhoes.
Yeah, it appears that Neith is starting to grow back into the mid lane, at least over in Europe. We've seen multiple teams use it, Lobster, Zyrhoes, too. And I think with that Freya locked in, more than likely going to Realzx there, we will be seeing that Neith in mid.
Option to Myrmidons here. I still am expecting that we're going to see Hades.
Wait patiently and find out exactly where it's going to go. There is plenty of opportunities on the table. Serqet is still available though as well, DM. It wasn't picked up by FNATIC there, but they're going to go for Bacchus in that duo.
All right. This is a little surprising.
Well, Dardez is very proficient on the god. He played it right at the start of the season before buffs.
Sure.
Before buffs to the god.
Did you expect it to get picked or banned?
No, but maybe they don't want to give something away.
It's
but
possible.
maybe at the same time, there's the Serqet that I was mentioning. So they don't give too much up by showing the hand with a Bacchus pick up there.
Option to FNATIC here. One more pick before the second ban phase. Still looking, it looks like, for their jungler, their solo, and their support. I think their best bet here would to not pick the solo, keep that for last. They can
Ares for me would be the call.
What's up?
Ares for me would be the call now.
Ares against Bacchus, and you are correct.
Well, it's Janus and Serqet as well, right?
Yeah.
So when you look at, as a support player myself, I look at the roster they've got, and it's my pick, and I'm like, well, Cripple's really going to impact this team in multiple ways, and I can really cause issues. Bacchus as well, can't get it away from no escape.
For me, though, I think it comes down to Badger, and Badger is the type of support that gets caught a little bit too much. He overcommits and maybe not relies, but utilizes well some type of mobility, which is why his Bacchus is also very good.
Very true. And the one thing is Ares, he sometimes defaults to that if they've not had a good season, is what I want to say. Or he's having a poor run in terms of getting picked a little bit. He'll default to Ares so he can be the aggressive frontliner. If he does get caught, he can use that no escape to try and force a fight.
Thor ban, absolutely perfect. On her ban, very curious.
Not a surprise. It's Freya for the first point. Freya versus Anher in lane. Anher definitely wins that matchup for the most part there.
Well, I mean, everyone's going to push Freya out in the beginning, right? Was on her going to be their carry potential?
But think about the wave clear potential as well, DM. I mean, it's going to be Bacchus and an Anher up against a Freya and an Ares. Bacchus, Anher will definitely outpush.
I think Ares actually is one of Freya's best companions, given the fact that the flames can push the wave together and pulse hits everything.
Good point. Good point. Combat's going to be locked in. That's going to be for the jungler.
That's great. This is a great pickup. What they're looking for here with the Ares Sunbots is one of the two initiates, forces the beads, then the other one goes in and forces the kill.
Xbalanque is going to be the pickup, more than likely for Jermaine. Not 100% certain if he is playing today, but hopefully it is a full roster from Myrmidons. And we're waiting to find out what the last pick will be, which will be for the solo lane LeMoGoW. Will we see the Hades is the question.
I think Osiris likely would be a decent pick here, given the fact that they don't have like a heavy auto attack. It's going to be Nox!
Nox locking yet again, starting to rise up. I mean, we saw Dimmy. So was it Dimmy? We saw Epsilon at least pick that one and play it quite proficiently up against Myrmidons last time.
I like Nox.
Maybe Myrmidons have pulled it out themselves.
I like Nox a lot, especially with that cripple against something like Neith or Humbots. That could even be a mid laner. The Janus could go solo.
Okay, I can see that being potentially useful as well, especially against, like you said, against Neith to try and keep a pin down from being able to backflip away from the burst damage coming out.
Bellona going to get locked in as the final pick, a very safe pick. As well as we're going to go into the game, you'll note on the right side, Freya, Bellona, Neith all looking to do major amounts of auto attacks, which means Bacchus is going to function very well with things like Midgardian Mail. No one can really, however, use a Frostbound Hammer well on this squad, so I'm kind of expecting a Witchblade to come out.
Yeah, but who on is the question. Would you put it onto the Bacchus, or would you maybe Xbalanque with the Witchblade? I know it's a strange one to mention, but it will help out a lot against this team.
I think the big problem here is that they're running 4 magical when they need things like Frostbound Hammer or Runic Shield to really function well. I mean, look, you know, Runic Shield shutting down Freya heavily, but they can't build that onto a carry. Like LeFaeles, he won't be able to build into those very specific items. He must go full carry here to be able to bring the end game down. With that, Myrmidons might have some trouble. With FNATIC, I'm definitely still expecting Mail of Renewals, but I would say Stone of Gaia is probably their best bet for both Badger and maniaKK.
It does look like the roster of Myrmidons has been mixed up once again. Tynz is going to be in the jungle this time. Dog Dodo in the mid lane, who formerly played jungle himself. off. Tynz was the mid laner, and Jermaine not here, so it's FNATIC in the AD carry role.
I wonder if this has been Jermaine being removed from the roster.
Not 100% certain. I've not got clarification on it, but he wasn't here last time. Not here this time.
It's 2 sets in a row after a rather unsportsmanlike performance that we saw in a previous set.
It's a shame because there was a lot of talk at the start of the season how aggressive Dardez and Jermaine were together.
I don't care about aggression. He was just a damn good player.
No, I agree, but together they could go against the best duo lanes in Europe and really put on a show against them.
They were winning.
It's a real shame that if that is the case, they've not had a full roster for the most of the season. I think over 50% of their games they've not had a full roster. It seems.
Yeah, think about it. They lost both Jermaine, who was kind of their star player, but just like TSM alluded to, the team communication and team culture has to be good, and they lost Sayo.
They lost Sayo. They also had Getfisher in the jungle at the start of the season, which was
I think that was an upgrade.
Then they removed Dark Dodo and then brought in Tynz once again into the mid lane, brought on FNATIC for the jungle, multiple roster changes for this Myrmidon side, and it's fortunate for me that they've actually managed to find as many wins as they have in 5. They've taken some decent games off opposition that you wouldn't have expected them to, like the names of Titan, for example.
But now they have a bare bones roster, and they're going up against FNATIC, 4th place at the World Championships last year, a consistent roster throughout every second of every day. I mean, this roster has been together forever.
Well, I was talking in the backroom to the admins as well about FNATIC, and they were like, is there any team that's ever been to like every sort of LAN and things? And FNATIC, whenever they've been involved in a competition, they've always made LAN.
Yeah.
Ever since launch tournament, even since launch tournament, they made one roster change, but since then, every single LAN they've been to, including Worlds, and every regionals.
Jumping in here, Rising Jaguar going to do decent damage, but Chain's coming out. Badger in control of the lane. Realzx, though, taking a lot of damage. You will find he is now completely out of potions. His last 2 are running.
On the right-hand side, though, we did see FNATIC invade on the back Harpies and steal those ones away. CaptainTwig and Zyrhoes recognizing an opportunity with their much superior wave clear to put the pressure on and going to get back before those minions even hit the tower.
Tynz taking some damage there. They're going to go to the back left. Still 2 back Harpies, or at least camps, on the top side of the map, meaning there's a lot of extra experience on the side of FNATIC right now. They're technically just a full camp ahead at this point, and they have to utilize this advantage, getting CaptainTwig to 5 as fast as possible and engaging on that Janus before he's going to have a chance to escape.
I like what Dardez has done in this lane on those backers as well. Gone very aggressive early on before we can start seeing FNATIC get their lane control going. Because at the moment, just keep potentially bursting down and forcing Realzx back from being able to pulse properly on the way. But in mid lane,
I thought he was going to go into the tower there.
For a second, that's why I said in mid lane, because I was like, is he really going to go in for this? Maybe I thought he was.
Still decent damage, though. Zero's taking a lot. He's going to go into the back right camps. CaptainTwig will get 5 off of this. Tynz still a ways away, but he does have a wave coming in. It's possible he could hit it there. Left side, you'll notice that somehow the red team has regained control of this lane, and I think that has to do with the fact that Dardez is perhaps not ready to commit super hard and waste the rest of his mana. Still level 4, not going to have access to Intoxicate, but I don't know that he could full combo yet.
Well, they went aggressive pre-level 3 and wasted all his mana, so he had to wait for those mana potions to tick through him. Now use his second one as well, so that's on cooldown. So you can keep out for the rotation here. Tynz looking for a pick, potentially going to see Twig there, but Twig is level 5, as is Tynz.
This could be a kill. He didn't go for the passive. He's trying to get it now. And return kill. Passive doesn't get to go off. He never landed the auto attack. Dardez blinks in.
Some salt away.
Not going to get it.
Oh, good position.
Oh, that. He should have just given that to Bacchus.
That was good position for FNATIC to realize. Cover the option that we always talk about, and he did that perfectly. Getting that kill to Xbalanque early. Even though Twig got first blood, it was nice to see a kill going over to FNATIC.
I think, though, even with that, both of them would have lost their red pots, which is maybe not going to hurt if they both lose it, but an advantage clearly for Batz, as you see him at 3,100 gold, and those boots are done. But Xbalanque getting that kill puts him closer to that timing, which is actually 1950, not 1,400 that we usually need. 1950 out of the base, plus the fact that he gained 5 permanent damage with that passive stack.
So it will help him out a little bit more as well. Working on the Transcendence, and that's why, because he started off with that blue stone, which double ticks with the poison, which is one thing. Poison, dot damage very effective with a Bluestone Pendant. It's just a shame you can't get out some mages too.
Tynz looking for a play here. This could wind up with him going down very quickly if he's not careful. It's probably better for him just to try to contest the mid camps, but now he's being forced away from basically everything. The left side purple being contested, and he should probably let this go and go for mids.
Yeah, Dardez already got back to base as well. You can see the rotation coming out from Zyrhoes there. He channeled Whirlweaver for a second, so they just have to give that one up, and FNATIC take an early lead with experience and gold now, especially after that first blood. Harpies should go even though.
Yeah, it was smart of Myrmidons to go towards the right side Harpies. Harpies. If they went to left, it was a possibility they would be contested. And with Dark Dodo being a level down on Zyrhoes right now, there was really no chance for them to commit heavily. And also, speaking of committing, very surprised we didn't see a Fear No Evil come out.
That was a very, very good blink. See, someone slid away early, but Fear No Evil has to be used defensively here, trying to return the damage, but he will fall down. Tynz should get out of danger before those Archer minions hit him, and he will.
Very low. You'll note there, in that engagement, CaptainTwig held his ult a little bit too long. He got reinitiated on, and there was no chance for Zyrhoes to really use his World Weaver there to get the kill. It winds up being a clean win for Myrmidons, but they're still behind.
I think it was a great call from Tynz, honestly, to realize he could blink in that situation, because Somersault was down, there was no escape for Twig. All in, the combo from the team was good, and they do find the kill. Checking the solo lane for the first time today, and LeMoGoW, he went very, not necessarily defensive here, because he didn't start with any mana potions or health potions, he just went straight for a Book of Tothrush.
Oh, maniaKK beadsing out off the belly flop, which was definitely a good call there. It's likely he would have been caught by something dangerous. The silence would have forced the bees either way, so why not just get it done early, get back to lane or base as fast as possible, and then of course teleport back in without losing experience. Good play by maniaKK.
Because if he got hit by a silence, it would have been an Intoxicate coming out as well. Beads would have been forced, he would have been a lot lower, potentially still died from that one. So we're going to rotate and just support for a second to make sure pressure is relieved there. 2-1 to the Myrmidons now after a nice little couple of plays from them.
I wonder if Tynz tries to make the play here. Honestly, we're noting that he's walking around the jungle a lot looking for opportunities, but he's spending a lot of time where he's not farming. He's already 2 levels behind Twig, and he probably shouldn't be looking for kills as much as he should just be splitting experience.
I think that's the biggest issue with him right now, is that he's, like you said, looking for too many kills consistently and not catching up with the farm. It helps out in the early game because obviously Serqet has a pretty strong all-in if she got her ultimate up, but if you keep falling behind and not finding as many as you want, you are going to slowly tick further and further behind.
I think Twig knows that he's around. Good damage coming out from Tynz. Passive stack going to do well.
No escape in mid lane's just been fired off though as well, so they're going to pull him back as there, who uses the Belch of the Gods to try and get away. Fear No Evil follows that one up and he will fall down. And that's one thing, Bacchus versus Ares. You can't belly flop if chained, and you can't get away from a no escape either.
There's literally no option he had there. It doesn't matter what Janus did. Those chains, once they attached, even with the 4-second timer on the last chain, there was literally 0 options for Bacchus. It was good of him to try to stick around
and do damage. Going to force the beads early to force out. Will Weaver comes in as well, and the flames with Reels will help bring it down.
All right, so another kill for FNATIC. It's 3-2 now to the sky. Realzx goes, not going to land any damage from the ultimate, but he avoids any gank potential.
Yep, Tynz going to rotate around the back. CaptainTwig's going to meet him in the jungle here. I'm not sure if they see each other. They do now. Red buff is available. Janus on the backside. Realzx is also there looking for that purple buff. It looks like we're going to see Myrmidons try and defend this one. But Zyrhoes is on his way over too, so it's a 4v3 and a lot of poke on Tynz.
Tynz, yeah, took a lot of damage there. Wow. And yeah, CaptainTwig forcing them back once again. He's not going to have his ultimate for a little while here, but it looks like the purple buff is likely to go down once again in favor of red. It's been a strong game for FNATIC so far. Blinking in though, Dardez going deep. Good
belly flop follow up as well after a good burp, and Dardez picks up a kill. Zyrhoes though did manage to find Tynz on the backside in the jungle, and now you can see that Dodo trying to get out of an awkward situation. Fail's going to help him out with the poison. Good poke once again onto Zyrhoes. No through space and time available though for Dodo to look for a snipe.
Very surprised that Janus is sticking around in this lane. He's just splitting experience, whereas the camps are actually being taken. Left side has already gone.
Still looking for the snipe. He wasn't shopping. That's the main thing.
That's Zyrhoes. That's not going to work. He's not shopping.
Some people do. I do.
Zyrhoes does not lazy back.
You say that and he's going to get caught today. I can see it now. You just jinxed him. He's going to get caught.
I think I might have just ruined the game. Oh, man. All right, well.
To be fair, not a bad performance from Myrmidons early on. I mean, to be 3-4 up against one of the powerhouses here.
But look at the gold.
Sorry?
Look at the gold.
Yeah, that's true, actually.
1,800 with 1 kill over. That shows you that FNATIC is just in a much better spot. And remember, guys, Tynz, this is not his normal role. So he's going into CaptainTwig's home bots, and you can see that there's a pretty dire disparity here with a 3-level difference.
So how do you feel about this Nox pickup into the solo lane?
I like Nox, although I am questioning it on LeMoGoW just for the fact that it seems like he's playing a stereotype. Oh, FNATIC gonna go down. Just it looks like basics. I don't even think that was. I don't think that was even a radiate.
Definitely a banish that came out to force him into that position, just standing still, realizing he was dead. Couldn't get away from the banish afterwards. In mid lane once again, Dodo gets under pressure, as does Tynz. Pressures Zyrhoes away. Fear No Evil comes out. Dodo, who has to beat. He's looking for a portal away if he can find it.
He's got it.
Doesn't have through space and time, but he will get away.
That was a really good ult from Tynz. It was necessary exactly when he did it. The question here is why CaptainTwig didn't immediately beads for the kill. Badger gonna find a kill somehow in the backline. He goes way deep and finds the chains. Still has access to his ultimate as well, which means their pressure in mid lane could get gnarly if Tynz is gonna stick around.
LeMoGoW's got a decision to make here. It's like, do I go back to solo lane? Do I cover mid lane here? And Tynz, he has to juke away. Meanwhile, Dardez trading off with Realzx, and Realzx gonna find a 1v1 kill against the support. As in mid lane, LeMoGoW did stick around, which means maniaK's getting free farm over in that solo lane. Should take the tower in the right. Meanwhile, mid is still being pressured by Zyrhoes.
LeMoGoW was forced to beads there as well. This is giving all the time in the world for maniaKK to just sit here and push down the right tower.
Look at Twig now. Just gone straight into the jungle after coming back. Picks up the speed buff away from Myrmidons in the jungle. And Myrmidons just respawning. They're going to come back, find out the tier 1 tower on the right is definitely going to fall. And the middle one is on its last legs.
Let's go to gold in hand here as CaptainTwig turns to back. He doesn't actually have enough to finish up his Jotun's Wrath. So it's surprising to me that he would back at this time instead of trying to clear up a little bit more of the jungle. He could have taken a camp in the back there. You see that back camp available after getting a wave in right, and he probably would have had enough. So strange back timing, going to be without that extra penetration for a while.
Zyrhoes played that very well, not to be too panicky. Backflips away from the through space in time after hearing the noise notification that it was being fired off. And Myrmidons with a good gank attempt, but they don't manage to find the kill.
Left side camp's about to spawn. Right side should be spawning first, but it looks like instead of that, they're going to pressure the purple once again and keep this Xbalanque locked down. This is what we really wanted to see Zapman do yesterday against Barracuda, is just not let him ever get his own buff. Dardez, again, sees that there's multiple people trying to take this. It's a possibility he's going to try to engage here, but it's so risky.
He can intoxicate to secure it. There you go, he will do. Drunken Master is online as CaptainTwig is floating around. Tynz is around the back. They've not spotted him yet, but Will Weaver will connect with him as no escape comes up from Badgah. Into the Fear No Evil they come. Dodo in a lot of trouble here, has to portal away soon if he wants to live. Meanwhile, Dardez surrounding Bellyflop. Got a few more seconds before it's off. There you go, he goes through. LeMoGoW made the rotation, as does maniaKK, but FNATIC come out on top.
Realzx, I mean, amazing in that fight. I mean, he just doesn't miss a single one of his auto attacks, and then ult hits all four between two different targets. Now they're rushing down the left side. That's going to be a D, almost a deicide here, as you'll notice LeMoGoW back in the base. No one available to defend this. It's likely that we could see a Gold Fury here. I would like to see him rush it down, but what I can say, nobody should be surprised at the way FNATIC is playing.
Not at the moment, no. Good rotations from the team. maniaKK responded immediately to LeMoGoW's rotation as well. They both came right over there. Or maybe it was the other way around, actually, because maniaKK did use that teleport all the way over. So LeMoGoW's rotation was a little bit quick there. But Zyrhoes in the mid lane on this Neith is making this work for himself. 2, 0, and 6. The rise of the Hunters coming back to other lanes is back again, Diam.
It seems so. I mean, he's had such amazing pressure around the map. And I mean, look at the build. It's just pure damage at this point. I'm wondering to see where he's going to go next. Right? You have your Soul Eater options, you have your Aussie options. He could go double stacking for max damage to try to get those World Weavers just to swing as hard as possible. And he'll have a fair amount of gold to use as the Gold Fury goes down in favor of FNATIC. 5.5k now. Right Harpies do finally drop to Myrmidons there on that side though. But giving up the Gold Fury is not something they would have liked to have done. But the Soul Eater will help out with Bellona and the Batz as well. Just giving them a little bit of extra life steal, which isn't going to be a bad thing for them. The Jotun's Wrath is finished. I'm sure he has enough money to get that Stone of Gaia online for Bellona. FNATIC in a beautiful position here at 13 minutes. I mean, they have the gold lead. They have a rather massive experience lead. In fact, let's go to the graphs here. We'll see the experience, I think, is the most important. Yeah, 8,500. And you see that most reflected right now with a 4-level advantage between the junglers.
And look at that pressure that Realzx did, pretty much solo there. He just put the pressure onto Janus, banishing him away, took a little bit of poke from FaEles, who had to back away with the Jaguar too, and now when the rest of the team rotates in, they have to all back out, give up this red buff. The ultimate missed there.
Threaded the needle there and could be in some trouble. Nice combo on the return, but a Fear No Evil is going to hit forward. They're going to turn this one around. Realzx trying to dive back, going to miss one shot as Dardez by himself intoxicates, trying to find something, and oh, Dark Dodo needs to get out of there quick.
He does. FaEles is here though. LeMoGoW very low, still trying to chase down and pick up the kill on Zyrhoes, but got to be careful of that weave on the floor. Meanwhile, maniaKK happy to tank that tower for a couple of shots. Is regenerating enough. Dodo on the right-hand side does manage to get out, but they're going to lose tier 1 in mid.
No, okay. CaptainTwig thought he kept running. Bull gonna go off here. FaEles going down quick. And and it looks like Zero, oh my god, a massive heal, not only gaining the heal from the 3 creeps in front, but the weave itself, bringing him back over 50%.
14-3 now. FNATIC is starting to run away with this game quite considerably. They just turned up the pressure all of a sudden. Myrmidons, at the beginning of the game, 3-4 was the tagline for a while where Myrmidons were keeping themselves in it, but now you can see it's starting to drastically change. 4-level difference in the junglers here, DM. We mentioned this about Tynz on the Serqet. He wasn't farming enough.
I would say if there was the three harshest hyper carries in the game would be Freya, Xbalanque, and Kali. And with that, we have 2 against each other right here with Freya and Xbalanque. Now, the issue is that Freya is 4 levels ahead right now at level 15, past critical mass, but doing a ridiculous amount of damage, and the gold difference is staggering at 1,700 right now between the carries themselves. With that, Realzx is going to be very hard to lock down.
Yeah, Myrmidons are really struggling here. You just saw Dardez take that whole wave of experience in that duo lane, so LeFaeles comes back to lane and now has to just sit under the tower because there's nothing for him to farm. He can't go into the lane because Realzx will just 1v1 him again.
Oh, trying to get Tynz on the dash, doesn't quite find it. Tynz will be able to scurry out of there once again. But he's 0-4 right now on Serqet, 4 levels down from Batz. I mean, at this point, FNATIC must make major mistakes for Myrmidons to be able to come back into this.
Yeah, FNATIC just control the map right now. You can see that both the solo laners, so both the guys in the duo and the solo lane have to sit so far back defensively and still getting aggressed on by Realzx here. Still has Valkyrie, and you can see Jaguar is on cooldown. Doesn't finally hit, though.
Missed 2. Very unlike Realzx to spam the way that he did. Realzx going to get picked off there by Dodo. Very good rotation and good positioning as well. They're going to take their chance at Badger.
We'll take the chance at Badger, but Zyrhoes there in support. Twig's waiting on the outside too for the opportunity with that belly flop in. Now Dardez puts himself in a bit of an awkward spot as maniaKK comes on the back. Fear no evil. They were looking for the pick onto LeFaeles and they do find it. But meanwhile, under the tower, but Dardez is still safe.
They're going to burn down the tier 1 to not allow them to continuously use this point of defense. It looks like Tynz is going to try to get in there. He misses the Cobra's Kiss. Still has his ultimate available to him, but I don't know that he's going to want to use it. It makes him a sitting duck, and with Zero sitting right there, it's going to be hard for them to control.
And look at Zero's just zoning them away, keeping LeMoGoW pinned back as well. Dardez had to rotate all the way around the back, but 4 members of FNATIC still pressuring the tier 2 tower. And LeMoGoW, he gets a root off on 1, but the chain hits Tynz, and Tynz is going to fall down unless he beads, which he does. The tick damage not enough to bring him down, but he's forced all the way back as LeMoGoW. Him too. Ooh.
Oh, Zyrhoes on the back end with the Unravel going to find the kill. And now maybe Contested still has a chance at this tier 2. Dardez, low health, no mana. Not going to have enough for 2 more spells. He chugs down and walks away. Tier 2 to fall. Gold Fury still not up for about another 40 seconds. With that, FNATIC will get a free back to the base with what I imagine is a lot of gold in hand.
Yeah, good opportunity for them as well. Gold Fury, like you said, still down. And 1,300 on Zyrhoes. Going to head back with that. See what he picks up as well. Already got the Soul to finish. Looks like he's going straight into Executioner as well. And the boys in FNATIC, well, we said at the start of this broadcast, didn't we? Expected FNATIC to probably win this one. Myrmidons still struggling this season. It shows.
Yeah, 4 times the kill right now, 4x over. We are seeing FNATIC control this game, and every objective so far still maintaining all of their towers. Tynz in some trouble here. Does he have beads? No.
In the end, that ultimate was a little bit too early, and it made sure the stun came out from Neith to secure the kill in the end. Now pressure still out onto Realzx, who uses the Valkyrie's discretion to disengage.
He didn't shoot many shots there, was just trying to find a way to stay alive. Dardez catches him on the, I guess, the descent, hits him with the Intoxicate, and picks up a rather important kill, a 1-for-1 massively in favor of Myrmidons, as there's a 5-level difference between the Fallen.
And they're going to take away the blue buff on the right-hand side there. Dardez did find that kill on Realzx in the backside, though, with the Intoxicate. Recalls back to base for the safety of coming around the back. Zero still trying to pressure the guys over on this right-hand side. And you can see that Myrmidons, they're kind of just tower-hugging right now. There's not much more they can do.
Oh, Creeps following CaptainTwig into the jungle. He's sitting fine, though. He's going to rotate over towards the left. It's possible that there could be a purple buff in Vale's future, but he's got to start the rotation now. That, or it could just be time for Gold Fury.
It is, and you can see Zero starting that one up as well. Twig will be there for defensive duties. And look at the ward placements in the jungle around that red buff. Sentry and a normal ward, just covering both options.
And they know they're not coming through the main option.
Exactly.
They don't see them coming through the secondary, which means this is a free Gold Fury so far.
Back with the way, so Zyrhoes can just give aggro over to Twig there as well. And he will be brought down. Meanwhile, the other boys of FNATIC hovering on the right-hand side, looking at the speed buff. And you can see where Badger is right now. He's looking to try and go aggressive. If they can find Tynz, that'll be the target they're after, especially if they can shut down the mobility of Serqet.
Tynz has got to be careful here. If he commits to the super hard, he's going to get chained. Does he have beads available?
Not sure if he does. He looked like he was patient, but meanwhile, Twig did find FNATIC on the left-hand side. He just looked like he was trying to farm up.
That was without Fear No Evil as well. No escape.
Going to force out both the ultimate and the beads from LeMoGoW. Tynz does manage to get away as the Will Weaver comes in. He does fall down eventually to the Scourge from maniaKK, who gets caught in a bad position, but Fear No Evil over the top from CaptainTwig in support finds a nice kill.
This game, it seems to be Myrmidons, right? It's just Dardez versus the world here. He's always getting these big CCs off, and wow, okay, it's going to be a 19-minute surrender. FNATIC, absolute destruction throughout that game. Massive lead, won every fight.
Can you be upset with the surrender?
No, I thought it was going to come out sooner.
It was a rough situation for them, but FNATIC, they're number 2 at the moment in the standings. Sorry, number 3 in the standings, just behind Paradigm and Epsilon. They're having a good season. They're starting to find their stride again, and it's showing against the Myrmidons side, which, let's be honest, they've not had. The bottom 2 teams of the season have not had a full roster.
It was a impressive run from FNATIC either way. We're going to start off riding with Twig here, and you're going to watch a lot of damage comes out, but he doesn't use the 10% passive. He was looking for the 20, and he never actually gets it. He didn't commit hard enough, and with that, Twig was able to counteract everything that he was doing with that Fear No Evil.
I think the Will Weaver, Zyrhoes for me made the impact in that first blood, because if it wasn't for his quick response with the Will Weaver, there's a potential that Tynz probably would have taken that one.
So who is our player of the game going to be?
I don't actually know.
Let's find out. It's Realzx.
What a shock on that Freya. He soloed, failed a couple of times on that Xbalanque early on.
Had the great 2v1 as well. Look at this. This is one of my favorite plays. He's chasing him down super hard here. The World Weaver comes out, and he's just, chases him down. And those to me, those look like non-irradiate auto attacks.
And this is a fight a little bit against Dardez as well. I think Dardez chose to fight this eventually as well. You can see him come back into this fight, because we saw this a little bit later on. Realized with the minion wave, he could put some pressure on into the flop. Good play from Dardez. Honestly, you mentioned this, and you got just about away for the time being.
That Brissington's Blessing actually gave him enough health to take the one auto attack, and then he's able to burst him down. That is a very underestimated passive in the early game.
It is. But credit to Dardez for realizing he could potentially pick up a kill there as well against a Freya that was actually doing very well for herself. Over the right side, she'll find this kill with the help of Will Weaver again. This is Zyrhoes for me for the most part here, DM. That's making an impact with that global ultimate.
Tynz was a little bit too early. I think he thought the World Weaver was coming a little bit quicker than it was. Yeah. He tried to use the last breath as a form of CC immunity. A little bit too quick on the draw, gets stunned afterwards, and obviously Realzx just burst
So what do you do as Myrmidons in game 2? You got Janus, you got Serqet, and you still don't find a win, or you don't even find a game is the best way I want to put that one.
It's not a game. It's like they didn't find a single team win. As we go into the top performers here, I'd be very surprised to see any list from the Myrmidons squad. Now it's going to be everybody from FNATIC.
Good performance from them overall. Zyrhoes top of the shop. I expected that with how he played that game. Influence with the Will Weavers all day long. Controlled mid lane. Good positioning. And Badgah on the area as well. When you get Serqet, Janus, and a Bacchus to have to deal with, it's not a bad day to pick Ares and have fun on him.
Remember, guys, there are 4 ways to get to Worlds. One of them is going to be the Smite Xbox European qualifier running through ESL over in Europe.
It starts tomorrow. It's going to be an open bracket format. You can qualify for the LAN in November, and one team will make it all the way to Worlds during that tournament. So it starts tomorrow, guys, so get over there and check it out now if you want to sign up. One person from the LAN, obviously, will make it.
Which is, it's cool because we have the one team from Europe, and we have 2 from North America, right? We're going to have the UMG League and the MLG League. MLG has their first LAN next weekend. For those of you who are in the New Orleans area, please get tickets, come hang out. Me, Bart, and Gandhi will all be there casting. There's a ton of Xbox talent as well.
Xbox talent, yeah. It's going to be a good event for you guys there. Don't forget at Worlds, we'll have the open bracket there as well, where you can turn up with your team and play before the actual Worlds tournament for Xbox.
Yes.
Potentially enter in yourselves.
That's right.
And end up on the World stage earning some money.
UMG has their tournaments as well. They're running 4 online qualifiers. Those winners go to LAN to compete for 1 spot for Worlds. In the final, like you said, all the teams just show up to Worlds, and one that wins the open bracket at Worlds goes right into the Xbox finals, which is kind of crazy.
Not a bad opportunity for new Xbox players to get your name out there. Or some old PC players that are looking for a new lease of life. I know there's a few of those out there too.
Shout outs to Shane.